Good evening, everyone. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and you're welcome to our celebration of the International Day of Living Together in Peace. I want to appreciate those who came in on the dot. In fact, the first person that came in is Bemisola Oluwashina. She joined us at 4:45, and I was impressed. I had to take down her name. Congratulations. I also want to appreciate those that have just joined in. Kindly go to the chat box and indicate your name, your school, your name and the school you're joining us from. We'll appreciate that information. Thank you very much. We're going to proceed very shortly. I don't know, from the director, I don't know if we should wait a little bit more or if we can proceed.
We can give them till good evening, everyone. Good evening, Mrs. Chukuma. Thank you for kicking off promptly. We can give them till 5:05 and then we start.
That's fine. Thank you.
Thank you.
So while we're waiting, you can indicate your name and your school. And if you want to give us your email, that would be fantastic. We could send information from time to time. Thank you.
Good evening, my lady, the Chairman of Council, Honorable Justice Jumoke O. Pedro. What a pleasant surprise to have you here. Thank you so much for joining.
Welcome, my lady. And I think with her being here, maybe we should proceed, Ma.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, you can proceed.
Good evening, my lady. Welcome everyone to today's celebration of the International Day of Living Together in Peace. It is my pleasure to welcome you all and to welcome especially my lady, our Chairman Governing Council, in the person of Honorable Justice Jumoke O. Pedro. Ma, you're very welcome. We also want to appreciate our director, Mrs. Achere Cole, who will be giving us the lecture, but the chairman will start with the opening remarks. As we know, the International Day of Living Together in Peace is set aside to promote peace and togetherness, as the name says, and tolerance to enable people, work together irrespective of their differences, and also to ensure sustainable development. So without further ado, I'm going to yield the floor now to our Chairman, LMDC Governing Council, my lady, Honorable Justice Jumoke O. Pedro. Welcome, ma. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you very much. Good evening, the director, the Lagos Multi-Dock Courthouse. Good evening, the management and staff of the Lagos Multi-Dock Courthouse. I salute you. And our dear participants, you are welcome. I just want to say that it's a privilege. It's indeed an honor to be with you for this event. is an opportunity for the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse to continue to promote alternative dispute resolution as a means of conflict resolution. Today, we celebrate the International Day of Living in Peace, and it is for each and every one of us to come together, to unite in recognition of this fundamental aspiration shared by all humanity, and that is the desire for peace. Coincidentally, this was the topic we had yesterday as I was sharing with some of my church members on the need for us to have that peace. So this International Day of Living in Peace is more than just a day on a calendar. It is a call to action. And it reminds us that peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but it's a positive dynamic state of harmony, which is characterized by mutual respect, understanding, cooperation among individuals, communities, and nations. And today, as we reflect on this important day, let us remember that peace begins within each and every one of us. It is nurtured in our hearts and in our minds. It is cultivated through our actions and interactions. Every kind word that we speak, every hand that we extend in friendship, and every effort made to understand one another, it builds the foundation for a more peaceful world. I use today to recognize and to appreciate those who work to promote peace in our communities and in actual fact across the globe. We have grassroots activists, we have international diplomats. These are peace builders. And they remind us of one thing, that lasting change is possible when we all come together, when we work together with determination and with compassion. We know that achieving peace is not without its challenges, because we live in a world that is marked by diversity. And then there are differences that can sometimes lead to misunderstanding and conflict. But it is our responsibility to bridge this divides, to engage in dialogue as they are going to train you tonight, and for us to seek common ground by embracing our shared humanity and to celebrate our differences, thereby transforming potential sources of conflict into opportunities which will lead or give way for growth and unity. On this day of International Day of Living in Peace, I want each and every one of us to reaffirm our commitment that we will all build a world where every individual can live free from fear and want, where every community can thrive in safety and dignity, and where every nation can coexist in harmony. So, as I close my remarks, I encourage each one of you to take the spirit of this day with you as you are listening to this topic on the role of ADR when it comes to actually leading to peace. I want you all to be ambassadors of peace in your lives and to inspire others to join in this endeavor. Together, I know we can create a brighter, more peaceful future for all. Thank you very much, and God bless you all. God bless you.
Thank you so very much, dear Chairman. We appreciate you always for the kind support. You're always there in all our programs, and we totally appreciate you, ma. We'll now go into the lecture proper, which will be taken by the Director, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. The theme of this celebration is promoting peace through youth empowerment, the role of alternative dispute resolution. And it is by Mrs. Achereko, Director, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. Now you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Chukwuma. And Lady, the Chairman of Council, Honorable Justice Jumoke Opedro, we thank you extremely for those words of encouragement and those words of passion about creating peace in our communities, which is what the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse stands for. And beyond the institution, all of us as individuals stand for peace. And that's the essence of promoting ADR in Lagos State and way beyond Lagos State across the world. So today we're going to be looking at how do we promote peace through youth engagement and ADR? What's the connection? We'll start off by, let me share my slides. Can I do that? Okay, awesome. So the topic today is promoting peace through youth. Oh, can you see my slides, JC? JC, ma?
Yes, I can see your slide now.
Okay, awesome. So promoting peace through youth engagement, the role of ADR, alternative dispute resolution. It's an interactive session, and we request those in the room to please interact and think through these thoughts as we walk through them. Let's first of all look at the contents of the paper. As Milady Chairman has said, we're celebrating International Day of Living Together in Peace. So we're going to look at why that even started out in the first place. Then promoting peace through youth engagement, strategies for promoting peace through youth engagement. Then we'll look at an overview of alternative dispute resolution and a brief overview of the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse itself. So that gives you an outline of what we're going to have today. The first one is, let's look at the background of the International Day of Living Together, Peace. Following the devastation of the Second World War, the United Nations was established. So let's look at a bit of history to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war. And further to that establishment, one of its purposes is to achieve international cooperation in solving international problems. I'm sure we all can see the problems we have around us. And we will see as we go along on, the key things that bring about these challenges or these problems, including by promoting and encouraging respect for human rights and for fundamental freedoms for all, without distinction as to race, sex, language, or religion. The United Nations General Assembly, in its resolution 72130, declared 16th May. So this day is not only celebrated by the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, it's celebrated across the world as the International Day of Living Together in Peace, as a means of regularly mobilizing the efforts of the international community to promote peace, tolerance, inclusion, understanding, and solidarity. The day aims to uphold the desire to live and act together, united in differences and diversity, in order to build a sustainable world of peace, solidarity, and harmony. So this presentation explores how youth engagement can foster peace in Nigeria, and of course beyond Nigeria, with a particular focus on the role of ADR as facilitated by the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. I'll ask a quick question. Has anyone, I'm speaking to the undergraduates in the room, before today, had you heard about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse? Can I see it in the chat box, please? If you had heard about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, put a yes or a no in the chat box. I'm checking the chat box. Faith Adebayo says yes. Great. Author, yes. Author Wauzo says yes. Okay, that's 2 responses. Oyelade, great. So we have a number of people who had heard about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, which is excellent. Before we get to that slide, one of you is going to tell us what you know about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. But let's go on discussing the International Day of Living Together in Peace. I'm having a challenge. My slide moving. Okay. Now the key words that we need to think about when we speak about peace and speak about the International Day of Living Together in Peace. These are the key words we have on the slide. What does peace really mean? What does peace mean to you? What does it mean to me? It means, according to United Nations, dignity and well-being for all, not just the absence of war. So dignity, worthy of honor and respect. That's what it means. Is there any way, and let's personalize this, is there any time in your life you have felt as though you've been disrespected or dishonored? Let's look at tolerance. And because when you personalize it, then you realize what is happening in the world and why people can be so entrenched in their views and in their ways. The first place it starts is with disrespect and dishonor. Everybody wants to feel dignified. The next one is tolerance, mutual understanding and respect for others. And these are very simple terms. Then there's inclusion, participation fully in society, regardless of background or abilities. I'm going to ask you a question, so let's go with this. And it's an introspective question. Understanding. It means you are aware of other people's feelings, you are tolerant, and you are forgiving. Solidarity, unity in all forms and in all spheres, irrespective of background. And then united in differences and diversity, which means you appreciate and understand different cultures, traditions, and value systems. So let me find out today, is there anyone you are not at peace with today? Put in the chat box and let me say a yes, if that is true. If you say yes, there's somebody I am not at peace with for any reason. One, they disrespected me. They don't understand my views. They are not included. They don't understand my feelings. And there's no unity. It might be in school. It might be at home. They don't understand the differences between you and the next person. They don't understand your diversity. Is there anyone you're not at peace with today? Let me see from the students in the chat box. If you say no, it means you're completely at peace with everyone around you. If you say yes, it means there's somebody you're not at peace with today. Let's go to the chat box. Let me see. Faith is completely at peace with everybody. Author says yes. There are people he's not at peace with. Are we going to get 1 or 2 more responses? Is there anyone you are not at peace with today? Today is International Day of Living Together in Peace. Chibuzo says, no, I'm at peace with everybody. So I will request those who are not even writing. There are some who are unable to say yes and they're not as bold as author. Author, today is the day of living together in peace. When we're done, or even as we speak, send a message to that person you're not at peace with. If you're unable to do it, the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is here with you. You can call any of us when we're done with this presentation, and we can help you. Reach out to that person you are not at peace with. It could be a fellow student, it could be your home, it could be a lecturer, whoever it is you're not at peace with. Gives us a sense of what happens when wars begin. We sit in our corners and we wonder, why is there so much war? And why is there so much acrimony around? But the things we see on this slide are the reasons why. Disrespect, lack of tolerance. People just don't understand somebody and they pigeonhole the person and say, I don't like him. I don't like the way he behaves. But what this day wants us to do is to have some understanding. You might not like a behavior, but you should understand why that person behaves that way, and then take it forward and use the various mechanisms available to resolve that position you're in. If you don't have an opportunity to resolve it, at least be aware that there are differences and there's diversity. And it must not necessarily lead to an absence of peace. It can lead you to a place of understanding. If that's all we can take away today, I will say this again. The fact that people are different doesn't necessarily mean that there must be war. There are differences in people, differences in culture. There's diversity. But we must understand that there are different cultures, different traditions, different value systems. But what is utmostly important is that we respect the differences and we honor that a person has a right to his or her feelings. And that is so key to maintaining peace and dignity in the society. Let's go on. So that is a foundation and a background for this day we're celebrating, the International Day of Living Together in Peace. Also, remember, reach out to us. I'm sure at the end of the slides, we will have phone numbers through which you can reach us. Let's see why the youths are so important. In Nigeria, the youths constitute a significant portion of the population. Approximately 60% of the population are below the age of 30. Consequently, youths are crucial in peace-building efforts due to their energy. The youths, you have a lot of energy, creativity, innovation, and enthusiasm towards fostering stability and harmony. So these are the key things and the key reasons why we need the youth to be engaged in peace activities, in alternative dispute resolution from the beginning. Because we believe that if the youths are involved in these things and understand them and live a life of peace, it will definitely transform our societies, our communities, our nations, and the world at large. Now let's see what the impact of youth empowerment on peace building is. Of course, we've looked at it. They are agents of change. Can anyone in the room let me know how you have been an agent of change for peace? We'll give you an opportunity to speak. How have you been an agent of peace, an advocate, an agent of change? Have you advocated for peace in any way in your schools? Opportunity to speak at this point. If you don't speak, we will call your name. Lawal Amidat. Have you advocated for peace at Lagos State University? You can unmute yourself. Lawal Amidat. If Lawal Amidat is unable to speak, can we hear from Fatima? Chibuzo. Yes. Who's speaking now?
Good evening, ma. Fatima, ma.
Fantastic. Thank you, Fatima. Can you tell us how you've been able to advocate for peace in your university? Hello, Fatima.
I'm Ishuma.
Okay, we can hear you.
By trying to settle some differences among my peers, like trying to make them, by trying to settle any issues among them and trying to like preach peace to them, ma.
Okay, thank you, Fatima, for contributing. So where you have disputes, you have become a mediator. Fatima, is that what you're telling us? That you have been mediating in your school?
Not really, ma. Just try, kind of, but not among
Okay,
my friends actually. So whenever there is a dispute among them, I try to like resolve the disputes like among both parties. So I try to like ensure that both parties are at peace and try to do my possible best.
thank you very much, Fatima. That's a great one. So we're looking for more and more peace builders because we believe the youths are the agents of change. Just imagine that these youths are the same, particularly now, the undergraduates we have in the room, majorly are law students, and you're studying a profession that should promote peace. So that should be the first point, of course. Secondly, youths have innovative approaches. They have fresh perspectives and innovative ideas and technology. So we're looking to the youth to be able to build technology such that at the click of a button, disputes can be resolved. Youths are also involved in volunteerism. Right now at the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, we have interns who are on holiday and they've come to volunteer with us. And I know it's not just at Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. They do it across law firms, across other institutions, and they volunteer. You can imagine the mass of youths across who we can use, who understand peace and can foster peace. Then long-term sustainability. Because they are youths, and this is the crux of our population. They are involved in leadership, in education, and in opportunities for economic participation, which are also crucial for peace building. Now, let's look at strategies for promoting peace through youth engagement and ADR. What is the connection? Now, in various universities, and which is what we want to begin to see, and I believe this is happening already, but we're just not sure to what extent. We need to see creation of ADR and peace societies. While ADR societies focus more on ADR activities, we find out that there's less of the peace societies and peace discussions. We believe there should be a blend. And the peace societies are the societies that discuss the things like inclusion and tolerance and those type of things, while the ADR societies focus more on ADR mechanisms, which we'll look at subsequently. We believe there should be a blend. Can I hear from those present, do you have ADR societies in your universities? We want to know how we can help, how the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse can help your universities. Can we hear from you, please? Do you have ADR societies in your schools? Yes, we do. Christiana, which university? Christiana, what university is this?
Lagos
Faith.
State University.
Lagos State University, thank you. What of Faith? Are you Lagos State University too? Oh, University of Lagos, Chibuzo, you have ADR Society, good. Is there any other school represented here apart from University of Lagos and Lagos State University? None. Okay, so primarily it seems we have LASU and University of Lagos students in the room today. So that's fantastic.
We also have Covenant University, unless she's dropped off. Bemisola, are you here?
Oh, fantastic. So Covenant University is also here. Let's know if you have an ADR society in Covenant University, because that's a major place in which you can have communication, you can have conversations, you can have trainings on ADR and peace. Notice we're making a distinction. There's ADR, and we're going to go to that shortly, and there's peace, which are those words we use that typify what peace means. And we need to blend the two, because it's the understanding of what peace entails that prevents disputes. It is a preventive approach. And then when you understand those things, you have fewer disputes before it gets to the part of ADR, which you use ADR to apply on the disputes that arise. I can't see Covenant. I was kind of waiting for Covenant to come in. So this is fine. We have University of Lagos and Lagos State University. Another key thing that can be done through the youths is awareness. So the ADR societies should create sufficient awareness within the universities. And then empowerment and leadership. One thing I've noted about the ADR societies is that the children, the youths, they're encouraged to take on active roles. So I find out that these societies are doing so many fantastic things within the universities, and they come to associations like the Multi-Door, go to law firms, and they bring about so many fantastic advocacy programs. So this is a major thing that should be done, and you can take away with you immediately. Digital engagement. This is something I want to see more. I know at the national level, the ADR society at the national level, you should get involved as students. They're involved in a lot of digital engagement on Instagram. That is one online platform I find them on, and on LinkedIn too. So these are platforms where you can push and create blogs about alternative dispute resolution and about peace. You can distinguish yourself in the peace space. The peace space is so big, and things you can do about promoting peace. Then, of course, you need to get trained. The Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse has training on mediation and, mediation advocacy, mediation skills training, and mediation advocacy training, and all kinds of trainings. We also do trainings for universities. We also encourage university students to visit the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. You can have a one-day visit. This is all promoting peace. And once you begin to engage at this stage, you can imagine how much more you will do. You become a professional by the time you do this at this level. Then, of course, there are international exchange programs. There's Rotary, the Rotary program. You can Google it. There's a Rotary program where you can have exchange programs outside of this country. So these are things that youth should get involved in at this stage so that you understand peace movements, you understand alternative dispute resolution. Of course, we're also advocating that you include ADR in business contracts. You will have people who will approach you even as young as you are, or when you work in law firms during the holidays, and you review contracts, check the contracts. Do they have alternative dispute resolution clauses in them? This is a way to promote peace. Let me tell you why. If you have a business contract, and I'm sure some of you would, your parents' companies or your friends' companies, find out the contract you've gone into. Is there a dispute resolution clause? Because this is where it starts. If there's a dispute, where do they go? Should they go to court first, or should they go to ADR first? It starts with your business contract, the ADR clause, your business contract. And then within your universities, there are disputes. What is the first step in resolving disputes? Was it Faith that told us she's helping to resolve disputes between her friends? But beyond within your friends, what of other kind of disputes within the university? Create, and we started at the beginning, we said youths are very innovative. If you notice consistently that disputes in your universities are protracted, I can see somebody has joined from Igbinedion University. So that's like 4 universities we've had today. Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone who has joined today, because we know as children that data can be a challenge for you. So for everybody who joined today, we'll ensure that your data is replaced. Just make sure you start dropping your phone numbers in the chat box for every student that is on this call. Thank you for joining in, and we'll ensure that we get your data back to you. Now, so within your universities where there are clashes, you don't need to go into the clash yourself. Go to the authorities and say, I have a solution. Why don't we try ADR? And then speak about ADR. People can know if that is an ADR ambassador. That is a peace ambassador. And you don't only say it with your mouth, you live a life of peace. This is what we're saying on this day of International Day of Living Together in Peace. Let's just look at a brief overview of ADR. I want to believe that most of you understand it, but just a brief definition. ADR, alternative dispute resolution, is a wide range of dispute resolution processes, a very broad range. It's not one thing. I was asking Faith, I said, so you're now a mediator, but she was shy. But she has started out practicing mediation until she begins to learn the formalized process of mediation. It's a start. And I say, well done to her. So it's a wide range of dispute resolution processes and techniques used by parties to settle disputes with the help of a neutral third party. That is when you need a third party. In some instances, it's just between two parties. So let's look at the mechanisms quickly. We have arbitration, which is a less formal system, resembles the court process, but is done in a less formal environment. And that is arbitration. At the end of the day, you get an award. Mediation is a process where a third party helps the two parties or three parties resolve their dispute, and is confidential. The parties are in ultimate control of the decision to settle. While in arbitration is the arbitrator who is in control of the award. It's like a judgment. Then negotiation, you don't have a third party.
Sorry, excuse me. Sorry, ma'am. Oyinda, kindly mute your mic. You're distracting the. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chukwuma. So for negotiation, you have two people who work together. You must take home an understanding of these various definitions. It will live with you for the rest of your life. It's very important. Arbitration is more like the formal process. It's just that it's done in a less formal environment. And what you get is an award, which is like a judgment. And there's no opportunity for the parties to decide. The arbitrator makes the decision. For mediation, the parties make the decision, but the mediator guides the parties to a resolution. For negotiation, there's no third party. The two sides who are in a dispute work together to try to resolve their disputes. For conciliation, the conciliator is like a mediator, but the conciliator can make suggestions. That's the difference. They can make suggestions. They can actively even make proposals as to how the dispute should be resolved. So this is four, we've looked at four mechanisms. And then we have early neutral evaluation, where two sides have a problem and they're wondering, is my case strong? Is my case weak? What should I do? They go to an expert. The expert could be a retired judge. The expert could be an engineer, depending on the area of the dispute. And they say, can you let me know what are the strengths or the weaknesses of my case? And then that expert reads through your case and gives you the strengths and weaknesses of your case and gives the other side the strengths and weaknesses of their own case. Then you can make a decision. What should I do? Should I go to court? Should I mediate? Should I arbitrate? Then you take a decision. And then we have hybrid processes, which is a mix of one or two. So you could start with mediation and then go to arbitration. You could start with arbitration and go to mediation. So there are various possibilities and the combinations, and that's why you have the hybrid processes. So in essence, what we've looked at today is an overview of what peace entails. We talked about tolerance, we talked about inclusion, we talked about peace itself, we talked about diversity and unity, solidarity, and those are the underpinnings of peace. Those are the things that make up peace ultimately. And at the end of the day, we've looked at the various mechanisms you can use to resolve where disputes arise. So that's a bit of background. Now we'll give you an overview of the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. I said I will ask a question here. 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people said they know about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. Can you tell me what you know about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse? Anyone? Unmute yourself first to speak.
You can raise your hand so that it doesn't get rowdy.
I hope they can raise their hands if they're using their phones. Can you raise your hands? Put in the chat if you're able to raise your hand. Okay, not in the chat. Okay, if you can, Christiana, go ahead and speak then. She's just giving us a high five in the chat box.
Okay, I wanted to Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. What I know about Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is that it's an institution, just like we have courts for litigation. Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is an institution where people can come with their disputes and seek ADR resolution. Let's say arbitration, mediation, any of the ADR spectrum. They can pick one of it and seek resolution in the. It's like courts for ADR. Am I correct?
Thank you very much for that response. Great one in the way you put it. Yes, you have a court. It is not a court. It is not a court. It's called the courthouse, essentially because it's connected to the court. But it is, you're right, it is a place where if you need to have your disputes resolved, we have many doors, multi-doors. The doors are arbitration, mediation, mutual evaluation, those things we just talked about. And you can use any of those doors to resolve your dispute. Thank you very much for that response. Does anybody have something else you want to say about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse?
I wanted Christiana to tell me the university she's from. She hasn't indicated that.
Oh, I see. Christiana, can you give us your university? And then we can have Arthur.
Lagos State University.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Christiana.
Then we
So
have
Arthur,
Hans.
go ahead. Sorry, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much.
Raising his hand. Okay.
Good evening. Am I being heard?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So what I know about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is that, in addition to people, being able to walk in and resolve their disputes, I know that the Lagos State High Court can also refer people who come to, they come to court and then they are trying to, litigate or, carry out, the normal court process. I know that the court can also refer people who have, cases that can actually be resolved by ADR. So the court can also send people to the multi-door courthouse to, resolve their disputes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Arthur. Awesome. That's very true. Arthur, you're speaking from which school?
Okay, from LASU, Lagos State University.
Lagos State University. Okay. So before we begin to wrap up this presentation, I want to call out the names in the chat on the participant list.
Ma Fatima is trying to talk. Same with Uzo Samuel.
Fatima.
Yes.
Oh, I see. Okay, Fatima, go ahead, please. Fatima.
Can you hear me, ma?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, ma. Thank you, ma. So what I know about the multi-door courthouse is that the multi-door courthouse is a resolutional bodies where the ADR techniques, where there maybe for instance now arbitration, mediation, negotiation, and all the ADR techniques. This is the body that is being recognized about the multi-door. I'm just trying to explain. These are where their judge American companies awards and settlement agreements are being enforced by parties, maybe by the multi-door courthouse judges. So I just know that the multi-door courthouse just work it's just like a court, but it's not a court. But it gives recognition to ADR techniques and where the judgments by other techniques are being enforced. That's just basically what I know about.
Fatima. Okay, so let's clear up some things. You're right, we're not a court. The courts exist. You have the High Court and other courts, Magistrate Court, Court of Appeal, those are the courts. You're right to say this is where we have ADR techniques used. This is where we use ADR techniques. But what is not correct is that we enforce agreements or we enforce awards. No. Remember the ADR mechanisms we looked at. We looked at arbitration, mediation, and some others. Let's look at arbitration and mediation. For arbitration, you have an award. An award is enforced in the court. Fatima, is not enforced in the multi-door courthouse. Even a mediation settlement agreement will not be enforced in the multi-door courthouse. It will be enforced in the court. Fatima, were you able to get that? Hello, Fatima. Fatima, she's still here. Okay. Fatima Lasisi, I hope you've been able to get that. Awards and settlement agreements are not enforced in the multi. Thank you for your response.
Yeah,
they're not.
Yes, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So they are not enforced at the multi-door courthouse, they are enforced in the court. But the awards are reached here, that they are drafted and published. The award is published in the multi-door courthouse or from the multi-door courthouse, and the settlement agreements are also entered into at the multi-door courthouse. But enforcement goes on in the court itself, and that's why this place is connected. The multi-door courthouse is connected to the court. I hope everyone is able to understand this. So very good. Is there one more person who wanted to speak before we round up?
Chizoba Samuel, your hand is still raised, so you have the floor.
Okay, good evening.
Samuel, Chibuzo, yeah.
Good evening. Can we hear me? Am I being heard, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So thank you, ma'am. So, for what I know about Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, I know it's the first court-connected ADR center in West Africa, established in 2002, to provide timely and fast resolution of conflict, basically. So, since the court-connected ADR center, I know matters are being referred basically from the Lagos State High Court and in Lagos, basically. So High Courts in Lagos do refer matters to the LMDC, which is the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, to resolve. And I also know that some matters before they go to the courts, if they are ADR suitable, and the ADR the LMDC picks it up from there. I remember one of the trainings I attended before now, where Honorable Justice Pedro was saying, for commercial matters, they're trying to make sure commercial matters go to the LMDC to fast track resolution of conflict between parties. So also the ADR and the LMDC are for Lagos now. I think they're in charge of settling disputes settling conflicts or dispute between two people, which is that two people can just walk in, if they have any differences, and which they need to be resolved. They can just walk in on their own, not coming to the courts now, but just come walking, and LMDC is open to help them, resolve that conflict, but through the different doors, like you said, there is the arbitration, the mediation, negotiation, and conciliation. I think that's the term about ADR. Yeah, I think 2016, LMDC celebrated their 20th anniversary. Yeah.
Chibuzo, you've been, we're clapping for you seriously here. Just one thing, but everything else, fantastic. And amazing that you've attended another training where you are listening to our chairman. Our chairman is quite emphatic about fast tracking cases, both commercial cases and any other kind of case that's amenable to ADR. Our chairman, Honorable Justice Pedro, constantly says those cases that need not remain in the court should go through ADR so that parties can get quick resolution. Thank you very much, Chibuzo. There's only one thing I will correct in what you've said. We are not the first in West Africa. We are the first in Africa, Chibuzo, in the whole of Africa. So let's all note that the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. So I'll go straight to that slide that shows you that the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse is the first court-connected alternative dispute resolution center in Africa. And you're right, you've said so many things that are accurate. Chibuzo emphasized walk-ins. You can walk right in, court referrals. I'd heard another person talk about that before Chibuzo did. And then direct intervention means if we notice a dispute in society, we can write to you and say, refer your case to us. We've noticed that you have a challenge. We notice you have this dispute. We want to wade in and help you resolve. It could be trade union. It could be all kinds of disputes in society. It could even be family disputes. We can approach you. Or sometimes some sides call us and say, look, there's a dispute, but we don't want to come first. Why don't you, get involved? And that's where the direct intervention door works. Please, as we're wrapping up, because we're soon going to end, begin to put your names and your numbers in the chat box so we can take it down. Your names and your phone numbers, put them in the chat box, please. And of course, what are the doors? Mediation, arbitration, early neutral evaluation, hybrids, and restorative justice, which we began to use in recent years, which is a system or a process that enables the harm that was caused to a victim be repaired by the offender. More in minor criminal offenses, restorative justice is being used in Lagos State. And of course, Lagos State is blazing the trail as usual. It hasn't been used in any other state in Nigeria. It's being used now in Lagos State. We've resolved over 6,842 cases since inception. We've recovered claims of over 49 billion in about 5 years. We have a panel of neutrals of over 300 mediators, arbitrators, and restorative justice facilitators. Just to give you a few highlights, there's a lot more. This is a very brief presentation. And then, of course, we have our training arm, which is the best of its kind, we can say, in Nigeria. We have the Mediation Skills Training Program, which is a 6-day training program. We have the mediation advocacy training, which is a 1-day training. We have case management training, which is structured according to the needs of our clients. So we have a lot more trainings. We have restorative justice trainings. So we are the foremost ADR center, we can say, in Africa, indeed. Of course, we have various programs. We have the Lagos Settlement Week program. I'm sure you may have heard about it, and it has helped to, decongest the court dockets greatly. We go right into the courts, we screen the files, we pull out cases that we believe are suitable for ADR, bring them in here, resolve them, and return it back to court for judgment. So that's one fantastic program. We have the ADR track, where cases, I think Chibuzo mentioned that, cases that come to the court are tracked into the Lagos multi-door courthouse. So if we screen your case and right at filing in the court, it's determined to be suitable for ADR, it's tracked into the multi-door courthouse. And of course, we use online dispute resolution. What that simply means, we use it across the various mechanisms. What it means is that you don't have to walk in here all the time. You could sit there in Igbinedion University, you could sit there in LASU or Unilag or Covenant and resolve your dispute from anywhere. And you just click on, just the way we're talking now, a mediator will come online and be with you. So that's just a very brief overview of who the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. Of course, you've all done fantastically well in letting us know what you feel or what you understand about the Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse. These are our contact information here. We are at Ikeja and various places across Lagos State. And these are contact numbers. You can take those down. And that's our website. Please, the website will have a .ng now. There's a new website, .ng.org.ng. And that's our email if you want to send us an email. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I want to believe you've dropped your names and your phone numbers in the chat box. Thank you so much, Mrs. Chukwuma. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my director, Mrs. Sachereko. It's been a fantastic, I can tell you I enjoyed this more than the students, almost. Thanks a lot. I hope everyone has learned one thing or the other here today. I noticed that some people have not indicated their school. Okweworthy, I don't know your school. It's important that we also know where you're coming from. We want to appreciate everyone. Okay, Milady is still here. I think we'll do her the honor of giving the closing remark. But let me just request that if you have not put in your details, kindly do so now. The director has graciously promised to refund your data money. So let us grab this opportunity. Thank you, everyone. May I yield the floor for Milady, our Chairman, Governing Council, Honorable Justice Jumoke O. Pedro, to give us a closing remark. Milady, ma. Unless, of course, there's anybody that still wants to ask a question or make a comment on what has been taught today. If there's none, then we'll yield the floor to Milady. Milady, are you here with us?
I'm not in a position to talk around here.
Okay.
I just want to say that, I've benefited a lot from this discussion, and I hope that most of the students now can start thinking about how they want to join the multi-door courthouse, maybe for internship, or, just to be able to equip themselves along the line so that they can practice, as mediators, as arbitrators, the earlier they start now, I think it's better for them. I just to say thank you also to the director, Lagos Multi-Door Courthouse, for making this possible. I'm sure the students, they will all go back thinking at least they know they have gained a lot from this interactive discussion. And God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Milady. Grateful.
Thank you, Milady. Director, you want to give your last final word too, so that I can close the meeting.
Yes, we can go. Thank you very much, Milady, Chairman of Council. We're grateful. Thank you for staying with us from beginning to the end. Of course, thank you, Mrs. Chukwuma, for excellent moderation of the event. And thank you to all the students. It's been a beautiful evening. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Femisola, I don't think you have put in your phone number or your details.